Hello friends, today we are going to discuss another important subtopic, that is Wheatstone bridge network. So this is the arrangement of Wheatstone bridge network. Now basically why this Wheatstone bridge network is used? It is used to measure an unknown resistance, clear, and to measure the unknown resistance in any circuit you have to use Wheatstone bridge network. So Wheatstone bridge network is used to measure the resistance which range from 10 of ohm to hundreds of ohm. Okay, so to measure the resistances between ohm and its value lies between 10 to 100, we are using what? Wheatstone bridge network. Now how this Wheatstone bridge network is actually practically implemented? As you know that resistance of any material changes with what? Temperature or length or material, because R is equal to rho L by A, that I already discussed with you. R is equal to rho L by A. So this rho is called as resistivity, L is length and A is area of cross section. So as length changes, length of wire changes, resistance also changes. So to measure the resistance we have to change this particular either L or either temperature. Any parameter can be changed so that the resistance can be easily measured. Now in this particular topic, important application is to measure unknown resistance. So I have divided this particular topic into three categories. First is diagram. You have to draw the neat diagram of Wheatstone bridge. Then you have to write down the explanation for experimental setup of that Wheatstone bridge. Then what is the procedure that you follow so that the experiment is performed, and finally derivation, means formulas and steps. So these are the different steps that we have to follow while doing the derivation of Wheatstone bridge network. So important point is what? First, experimental setup. It consists of four resistance P, Q, R, S are connected to form a quadrilateral ABCD. Clear? Then a supply voltage E or EMF, a cell with EMF E is connected to between the ends A and D, where the positive terminal of cell E is connected at point A and the negative terminal of the cell is connected to point D through key. So what is the purpose of key? When you press the key, that time current starts flowing through that Wheatstone bridge network. Okay, and in the second diagonal between B, C and C, you have to connect a galvanometer whose resistance is G, and that galvanometer shows the reading when the current starts flowing through that particular Wheatstone bridge. Clear? Okay. Now if you observe when you press the key, what happens? The current starts flowing through this Wheatstone bridge. When it enters at point A, which is a junction or node, there is a definitely division of current. So some part goes into the branch AB and another remaining part goes into the branch AC. That part which is part of the current which is flowing into branch AB is I1, and current which is flowing into branch AC is I2. So total incoming current is what? I, and outgoing current is I1 plus I2. So when we apply the KCL at node A, that time what I am getting? I is equal to I1 plus I2. It means incoming current I is equal to outgoing current I1 plus I2. Okay. Now, as I already discussed, I1 is the current flowing through AB, I2 is the current flowing through AC. As the current enters at point B, which is again node, that I1 is now divided into two parts. How? Some part of I1 goes into this galvanometer, which is IG, and remaining part I1 minus IG is flowing through this branch BD. So current flowing through branch BD is I1 minus IG, current flowing through branch BC is IG, current flowing through branch AB is I1, current flowing through branch AC is I2. Now as the current flowing through branch AC is I2 and current flowing through this branch BC is IG, so I2 plus IG flows into the branch CD. Clear? So current flowing into the branch CD is I2 plus IG, current flowing through branch BD is I1 minus IG. So in this way you can calculate the currents in the various branches using which law? Kirchhoff's current law. Clear? So this is an experimental setup of what? The Wheatstone bridge network, and procedure. When I press the key, current starts flowing through the particular Wheatstone bridge in the circuit, and at point A current is divides into two subpart I1 and I2. Again at point B, current is divided into two parts. So I1 minus Ig flows into BD and Ig flows into galvanometer. Similar manner, I2 is divided at point C into I2 plus Ig and Ig. Clear? So this is an experimental setup of Wheatstone bridge network. And last point I already discussed with you, that is total incoming current I is equal to I1 plus Ig. Clear? Okay. Now we are going to derive the derivation for balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge. As I already discussed with you the experimental setup and procedure. In this Wheatstone bridge network, if we want to find out the balancing condition means what? We have to find out the unknown resistance when this point B and point C are at same potential. It means they are equipotential. So if point B and point C are at same potential, then definitely current flowing through that BC branch is 0. It means that in the balancing case, current flowing through galvanometer is 0. Okay, so this is an important condition. Now listen here, consider a loop ABCA. This is a closed loop ABCA. Okay, it is a closed path. In this loop, I am going to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law that I already discussed with you, because it is a closed loop. So I can apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So to apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law, we should know potential differences as well as EMF. Now in this case, we don't want to consider the EMF because there are no any sources present in this closed loop. So only potential differences sum we have to take. Now in this case, if you observe from A to B, there is one resistance P and current flowing through that particular resistance is what? I1. Now my tracing direction is from A to B. And current is flowing from A to B. In this case, what will happen? If I am going in the direction of current flow, in that case, according to sign convention of Kirchhoff's voltage law, I have to take minus sign because there is a drop in the what? There is a drop in the voltage. So that's why here minus sign, that is minus I1 into P. Okay. Now whenever I am coming to this BC branch, that time what happens? Again I am going from B to C in the direction of the current, and the tracing direction is also same. So it is Ig into G. Ig is the current flowing through galvanometer and G is the resistance of galvanometer, which sign is what? Minus. That's why here also sign is minus Ig into G. Clear? Now in this case, if I am going from C to A, because I have to trace the loop from A to B, B to C and C to A. Now from C to A, my direction and current direction both are opposite now, because current is flowing from A to C, but my tracing direction is from C to A. That's why I have to take which sign? Plus sign. That's why here plus I2 into S. Why I2 into S? Because current is I2 and resistance is S. That's why it is I2 into S equal to 0. So in this way you have to apply what? Which law? Kirchhoff's voltage law. Clear? Okay. Similarly, consider a loop BDCB. In the loop BCDB or BDCB, apply Kirchhoff's voltage law once again. First, what is the current flowing through branch BD? I1 minus Ig. I am going in the direction of what? Current flow. Yes, I am going in the direction of current flow. And tracing direction is also same. So I have to take which sign? Minus sign. So minus I1 minus Ig into resistance Q. Again, now I am going from D to C, but current direction is from C to D. So again, and what is the current? I2 plus Ig. That's why here plus I2 plus Ig into R. Now I am going from C to B. So in this case, current is flowing from B to C and I am going from C to B. That's why here I have to write a plus Ig into G. Clear? In the above equation number 2, I have written minus Ig into G because I am going in the direction of the current and tracing direction is also same. But here I have written plus Ig into G because both directions are opposite. So these are the two important steps in this derivation. Okay. Now third step, when bridge is balanced means what? Current flowing through galvanometer is 0. So if we want current in the galvanometer is 0, then definitely the point B and point C should be at same potential. It means VB is equal to VC. This is a balancing condition. So Ig is equal to 0. Now substitute Ig is equal to 0 in equation number 2 so that this second term will cancel out. So what I am getting? that is minus I1 into P plus I2 into S is equal to 0, which is I1 into P is equal to I2 into S. It can be written as equation number 4. Okay, and in the equation number 3, if I put Ig is equal to 0, then what I am getting? I am getting minus I1 into Q plus I2 into R is equal to 0. So I1 into Q is equal to I2 into R, equation number 5. Listen here, this Ig 0, this Ig 0, this 0. So it is minus I1 into Q plus I2 into R equal to 0. Now if I take ratio, then what I am getting? 4:5. If I am taking 4/5 ratio of equation number 4 and equation number 5, what I am getting? P by Q is equal to S by R. Okay, so this is called as balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge. Means what? If you have been given a network like this and the resistances values are also given, and if this condition is satisfying in the given network, then definitely you can conclude that that particular Wheatstone network is balanced. You don't want to perform any analysis, provided this condition should be satisfied. Or in short, if you have any confusion which resistance is P, which resistance is Q, you should always take the product of diagonally opposite resistances. It means P opposite to P is R, take product of that. Then S opposite to that is Q, take product of that. If these two products are equal, it means that bridge is balanced. Clear? So product of opposite resistances are equal, then this particular given Wheatstone network is what? Balance. Clear? So this is an important balancing condition for this network. P by Q is equal to S by R. If you change the value of resistances, condition is changing. It is not permanently fixed. It depending on which resistance has given which name. Okay, yes. Now we will solve one important simple problem based on that balancing condition. This is a network given to you. P is 1.36 kilo ohm, R is 300 ohm, S is 4.4 K, and Q is unknown resistance, which is we have to determine. What is the shortcut? We have to take the product of opposite resistances. It means actually P by Q is equal to R by S. It means this resistance and this PS, product of PS must be equal to product of QR. So P by Q is equal to R by S. Now Q is unknown, so Q is equal to PS by R. That is 1.36 into 10 raised to 3 into 4.4 into 10 raised to 3 upon 300, which is equal to 19.94 kilo ohm. It means this product is equal to this product. So this product is known because both resistances are known, but this is unknown. So definitely this value should be such that it should match with this product, and that value is 19.94 kilo ohm. Clear? So in this way we have discussed the Wheatstone bridge network, okay, and its balancing condition. Now we are going to discuss applications of Wheatstone bridge. Clear? We have already discussed the balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge. Now we are going to discuss another application of Wheatstone bridge, that is meter bridge. Now listen here, why this is called as meter bridge. In this experiment, actually this is an experiment. In this experiment, a wire of 1 meter length is utilized or used, so that's why this is called as meter bridge. It means it is a wire of 1 meter. Okay, now this particular topic we have to study with respect to some different sub points, in which first I will explain you the diagram, circuit diagram of this experimental setup. Afterwards its construction. Later on we will discuss procedure, and finally we will discuss some derivation or expressions for the unknown resistance. Clear? So what is the important aim of this particular experiment, that is meter bridge experiment? To determine unknown resistance. Okay, to determine unknown resistance. This is the aim of this experiment, that is meter bridge experiment. Clear? Now this is a construction, or this is a diagram, circuit diagram of the experimental setup, in which what apparatus we required? We required a wooden board, then a wire of uniform cross section, and its length is 1 meter, then unknown resistance X, whose resistance is to be determined, resistance box so that we can vary the resistance, cell of particular EMF, key, and rheostat to adjust the, what we can say, adjust the current in the circuit. So this is a apparatus that we required in this experiment. So first I discuss aim of the experiment to determine the unknown resistance. Then experimental apparatus I discuss with you. Now these are some notations that we will be following in this experiment. Listen here now. Consider a meter bridge experiment in which a wire of uniform cross section and its length is 1 meter is stretched between two ends, okay, and it is fixed on what? Wooden board, and a meter scale is attached below that wire so that the length can be easily measured. So this particular, we can say, this L1, L2 are the two metal strips, and what is the shape of that metal strips? It is a L-shaped metal strips. How these L-shaped metal strips are formed, or how these gaps are formed? Observe here, L1 is the first L-shaped metal strip, L2 is the second L-shaped metal strip, and third straight metal strip is placed between these two L-shaped metal strips, so that there is a formation of two gaps. This gap is called as left gap, this gap is called as right gap. Clear? So left and right gap is formed due to placing of straight metal strip between the L-shaped metal strips. Clear? Okay. Now this particular R is the resistance box. This is a known resistance, X is an unknown resistance, then J is the jockey, okay, it is that jockey is used, that jockey is tapped at various points on the wire that I will be discussing when I discuss the procedure. So this J is jockey, then this is a meter scale, then rheostat, EMF cell with EMF E key, okay, and LX and LR are the notations for the length from left end from A side, and LR is the length from B side. Means this LX is the length from left gap and LR is the length from right gap. So this is the circuit diagram of meter bridge experiment. Okay, now I am going to discuss with you the construction. I have divided this entire circuit diagram into different parts so that it is easy for you to understand the specification or some description of each particular apparatus or component in that experiment. First is wire. What are the various points that you have to remember? This wire is of uniform cross section. Okay, this is also important. Second, the length of the wire is 100 centimeter, that is 1 meter. Third point is what? This wire is it is stretched on the meter scale. Okay, this wire is stretched on the meter scale. Fourth, it is fixed on the wooden board. And last point is what? End of the wire are fixed at two different points which are connected to two L-shaped metal strips. It means this wire is connected between two L-shaped metal strips, and end point of the wire are connected at point A and at point B. So these are the different points about different sub points about this wire. Okay, yes. Next is metallic strips. So two separate L-shaped metallic strips are formed due to placing of third straight metallic strip between the two L-shaped metallic strips. So there are basically three strips, out of which middle strip is straight and remaining strips are L-shaped metallic strips. Okay, due to that straight metal strip S, there is a formation of two gaps. What are the names? This is a left gap, this is a right gap. Okay, now third, unknown resistance is connected in which gap? In the left gap, and the resistance box is connected in the right gap. Okay, now galvanometer. Galvanometer, one terminal of galvanometer is connected to the central point of straight metal strip, and other point of galvanometer is placed on the wire through jockey. It means this second terminal of galvanometer is connected to, actually what? It is connected to jockey, and the jockey is connected to wire. Okay, it means connected means it is placed on the wire. We have to tap it. Then cell. The EMF of the cell is E and its internal resistance is very, very low. That's why I assume it to be 0. And a key is also connected okay, to cell and rheostat, so that with the help of rheostat we can adjust the current flowing through this particular wire. Okay, and last is meter scale. Meter scale is placed below the wire to note down the reading, okay, means to measure the distance of that particular point from the left end or right end. Clear? So this is the construction of this experiment, or what are the various specifications that particular, what we can say, apparatus possess in this experiment. Okay, yes. So we have to write for wire, then metallic strips, then cell, then unknown resistance, known resistance, galvanometer, and meter scale. These are the different points that we have to write. Now procedure. What is the procedure for meter bridge? This is important. Procedure means what? We have to select a suitable resistance from the resistance box, which is a known resistance that I already discussed with you. And after selecting the known resistance from the resistance box, you have to tap, or you have to place the jockey on the different points of the wire. This jockey should be placed at different points on the wire. Okay, and we have to follow. First step is we have to place the jockey at extreme left hand. That time the galvanometer will show some deflection on, suppose, extreme right. If this jockey is placed at right hand, then galvanometer will show the deflection in the opposite side. What is the reason? Because whenever I am placing the jockey at point A, that time the point A is at higher potential, because positive terminal of the cell is connected to point A. So point A is at higher potential than the potential at which jockey is present. So that's why current will be flowing from point A to jockey. It means jockey will take the current. Okay, so current always flows from higher potential to lower potential. So current will flow inside the jockey, so that the deflection in the galvanometer is on one of the extreme end. And if I place the jockey at extreme right, now in this case it is negative terminal of the cell. So definitely jockey will give the current. That's why the deflection should be opposite that as compared to the left side. Clear? So this is the first step. You have to place the jockey at extreme left hand, extreme right hand, observe the deflection. If you are getting a deflection to the extreme left, then for second case you should get in the extreme right. Okay, now you place the jockey at different points on the wire, and you have to search for the point on this particular wire for which this galvanometer does not show any deflection. Means what? Galvanometer does not show any deflection means current flowing through that galvanometer is 0. Now if current flowing through that galvanometer is 0, it means this point S and this point D both are at same potential, as I already discussed with you in the Wheatstone bridge. So these 2 points are equipotential, so current through that galvanometer is 0. It means what? That point on the wire in meter bridge experiment at which the current through galvanometer is 0, that point is called as null point, because at that point galvanometer show 0 deflection, means null point, null deflection. Clear? So null point is a important point. Then after obtaining the null point, you have to note down the distance of that null point from extreme left end, which is from the point A, and note it down as Lx by using the meter scale. So total length of the wire is 100 centimeter. So if you are getting Lx, you can easily calculate the remaining distance, or you can directly measure with the help of scale. So in this way you have measured the length of the null wire from the left end, that is Lx and Lr. So Lx is the length null point, distance of null point from left hand, and Lr is the distance of that null point from right hand. Clear? So basic important point is what? You have to obtain the null point in the meter bridge experiment, so that Lx and Lr can be easily measured and further calculation can be done. Okay? Yes. Now next important task in this meter bridge experiment is determination of unknown resistance. Now determination of unknown resistance X using meter bridge experiment. I already explained you the diagram, then apparatus, construction, procedure. Now length of the wire between A and D, where A is a left fixed point and D is the null point. Okay, so the length of the wire between A and D is Lx, and the length of the wire between D and B is Lr. So length of the wire between A and D is Lx, length of the wire between D and B is Lr. So using the balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge. Why this is balancing? Actually this is also the Wheatstone bridge, but it has been drawn in some different manner. So this particular length, resistance corresponding to this length AD, actually this is the resistance X. Okay, so this is the resistance, and resistance corresponding to length DB is R. That's why using the balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge, X upon R is equal to RAD upon RDB. This is an important formula, and this is an important step in this derivation. Once again listen here. If you multiply X with RDB and R with RAD, I have already explained you in the in the Wheatstone bridge. For the balancing purpose, unknown resistance, how it can be calculated? Product of diagonally opposite resistance. Product of diagonally opposite means X into opposite resistance corresponding to which length? DB. So this is X into DB is equal to R into AD, means resistance corresponding to AD. That's why this is X into RDB is equal to R into what? RAD. So that's why this is X by R is equal to RAD upon RDB. Clear? Okay, now listen. As you know, in the 11th standard, there is a basic formula of resistance. RAD is equal to rho L by A. This is the basic formula. In this diagram, RAD means rho into LAD upon A. Then rho is constant because this wire is having same material. Okay, it is a uniform cross section and material is also same. That's why rho is the same and area of cross section is also same because it is of uniform cross section. So that's why RAD is equal to rho into LAD by A, and RDB is equal to rho into LDB by A. Clear? Where LAD is actually Lx because it is the length of the wire between A and D, and LR is the length of the wire between D and B. So that's why if I substitute for LAD Lx, in that case X by R is equal to Lx upon LR. Why? Because this rho and rho cancel, then A and A cancel. If I take ratio of this and this, so RAD by RDB is LAD by LDB is equal to Lx by LR. Clear? So this is an important, what we can say, formula for determination of unknown resistance. So from this X by R is equal to Lx by LR. So X is equal to what? R into bracket Lx by LR, which is equal to R into bracket Lx by 100 minus Lx. So this is a what? X. So this is a very, very important formula for unknown resistance. Clear? So basic is X by R is Lx by LR. So from this here X is equal to R into Lx by LR, but X is equal to R into Lx upon LR means what? LR means total length is 100 centimeter minus this Lx. So X is equal to R into Lx upon 100 minus Lx. In this way you can determine the unknown resistance. Clear? So in this way, if you observe, this length is very, very crucial in this derivation. As length changes, resistance also changes. Okay, as length changes, resistance also changes. Clear? So this is a determination of unknown resistance using meter bridge experiment, and this is a very, very important point from exam point of view. Clear? Okay. Now we are going to discuss the sources of error in meter bridge experiment. What the first source of error is with respect to area. We assume that the wire which we are using in the meter bridge experiment, it should be of the uniform cross sectional area. Clear? But if the wire does not have a uniform cross sectional area, then definitely there should be variation in the resistances, because while deriving the formula for unknown resistance, we have assumed the cross sectional area is same for both the lengths. But if it is of non-uniform cross sectional area, then area may change. So this is the first error. source of error. Second source of error is what? Ends of the wire. These ends of the wire are soldered to this point A and point B, and at that point there may be the development of contact resistance, and due to that contact resistance, what will happen? That contact resistance which is developed at the both end of the wire may add with the resistances of wire. So definitely there will be change in the balancing length. So this is the second error. Third error is what? We are measuring the Lx, that is distance, the length of the wire between A and D, and the length of the wire between D and B, that is Lr, by using meter scale. That may not be accurate. There may be possibility that, but due to the manual mistake, that length may be faulty, or there must be error while measuring the length Lx and Lr. So there should be what problem with respect to accuracy of measurement. Okay, so these are the three sources of error. First with respect to area, second with respect to contact resistance, third with respect to Lx and Lr measurement. How to minimize this error? First is what? We should select the resistance from the resistance box in such a manner that the midpoint, the null point, that null point should be obtained at the middle of the wire. Okay, so we should select such value of R from the resistance box so that the null point, that D, should be obtained exactly at the middle of the wire. Second, we will perform the experiment by interchanging the position of X and R. First, unknown resistance is in the left gap and known resistance in the right gap. Now we will keep unknown in the right and known in the left, and again we perform the experiment, and while observing both the answers, we can do some manipulation, or we can do the averaging of both answers. And third, that jockey which we are using in this experiment, that jockey must be tap. It should not be slide, because if you slide the jockey, tap means just touch on the wire. If you slide, then definitely there is a problem, because there should be what? There should be resistances develop. Clear? So, or that wire may be melt, because as you slide the jockey on the wire. Clear? And uniformity of the wire is disturbed. So these are the three ways to minimize the error in the experimental setup of Wheatstone bridge, in the experimental setup of meter bridge experiment. Okay. Now finally, applications of Wheatstone bridge. What are the another application? We can measure resistance precisely using meter bridge, or Wheatstone. Actually, with meter bridge is the application of Wheatstone bridge only. So directly we can say that we can measure resistance precisely using Wheatstone bridge. Then we can measure the quantities such as galvanometer resistance, capacitance, impedance using meter bridge. Clear? So in this way, I discuss with you the important point, that is meter bridge experiment with respect to diagram, construction, working, procedure, derivation and application, and sources of error. Okay? Yes. Now we are going to discuss another important application of Wheatstone bridge, that is Kelvin method. One important point that you have to remember, Kelvin method is a method of equal deflection, whereas meter bridge is a method of null deflection. That we have already discussed the null deflection method, which is meter bridge. Now this is a Kelvin method. If you observe carefully the circuit diagram, what is the change that you are observing from meter bridge? In the Kelvin method, our important aim is to determine the unknown resistance of galvanometer. In case of meter bridge, there is no any specific resistance, means there is no any necessity to determine the resistance of galvanometer. It is a general resistance. Any unknown resistance can be measured using meter bridge. But in Kelvin method, specifically we have to measure the resistance of galvanometer. So galvanometer is connected in the left gap, that I already discussed with you, because there are basically two gaps, left gap and right gap. In the left gap, unknown resistance. Now in this case, that resistance is galvanometer resistance. So galvanometer is connected in the left gap and resistance box is connected in the right gap of meter bridge. Then definitely J is the jockey. Then now this X is replaced with what? This X is replaced with G, because this is a unknown resistance of galvanometer. Then this particular length Lg, now this is not Lx, this is actually what? Lg, because the balancing length from galvanometer. Rest all conditions are same and procedure is also same, but there is a slight change that I am going to discuss with you. Construction point of view, first is galvanometer, which is connected in the left gap of meter bridge and whose resistance is to be determined. Then resistance box connected in the right gap, and we can vary the resistances by selecting different values. Then metal strips, there are basically 3 metal strips, 2 are L shape, third one is straight, which is placed between 2 L shape metal strips. And wire, that is the wire is of uniform cross section, length is 1 meter. Cell and key are connected. Cell is connected through key to rheostat to adjust the current. This is the construction. It is the same as that of meter bridge. Now procedure, this is important. So to select the suitable resistance from the resistance box so that the suitable current can be sent through this circuit. So, and without touching the jockey, you don't touch this jockey on the wire and note down the deflection in the galvanometer. This galvanometer will show deflection, that reading you have to note. Afterwards, rheostat is adjusted to get the suitable deflection. It means you adjust the rheostat and again you observe the deflection in the galvanometer. Now tap the jockey at different points. Now tap the jockey at different points on the wire and select or choose a particular point on the wire which is D, at which galvanometer shows same deflection as that of the previous one, means when we started the experiment. Clear? That's why this method is called as equal deflection method. You have to first set some reference deflection and then you have to, using the jockey, you have to search for the deflection value which is same as that of the initial one, and note down the reading, the distance or length of the wire between that point D and A, and that length is Lg now. Okay, it is not actually balancing length, it is Lg. Lg is the length measured from the left end of the wire up to the point D, for which galvanometer shows same deflection as that of the previous one. That's why this method is called as equal deflection method. Note down the reading. Okay, so note down the reading. Which reading? The length of the wire between A and D. Galvanometer shows same deflection for point B and point D. Galvanometer shows same deflection for point B and point D. That's why this method is called as equal deflection method. Okay, now again same length of the wire between A and D is what? It is Lg, that I already explained you. And then simply we have to do the calculations like meter bridge. But in that meter bridge there is X. Now that X is replaced with G upon R is equal to RAD upon RDC. RAD upon RDC. It is a resistance. RAD upon RDC. Suppose this point is C. So RAD upon RDC, and this point is now B. Okay, this point is now B. So these point B and point D are at equipotential because they will show same deflection. Because initially you have placed the jockey at different points, you have note down the deflection. Now touch the jockey at different point and search for the point D, at which galvanometer shows same deflection as that of previous one. That's why point B and point D are called as equipotential points, and the length of the wire between D and A is Lg. Now calculation point of view, G by R is equal to RAD by RDC. G by R is equal to RAD by RDC. Now G by R, RAD means what? Rho Lg by A, and RDC means rho LDC by A, means LDC means LR, distance from right hand. That's why G by R is equal to Lg by LR. But LR is 100 minus Lg, because Lg plus LR is total 100 centimeter wire. Lg plus LR is 100 centimeter. That's why finally we are getting G by R is Lg upon 100 minus Lg. So G is equal to R into bracket Lg upon 100 minus Lg. So this is the important formula that you have to remember. This is a resistance of galvanometer which is unknown, which is equal to R, which is a known resistance selected from resistance box, into Lg upon 100 minus Lg. So in this way we can determine the resistance of a galvanometer using Kelvin method, which is also called as equal deflection method, and meter bridge was null deflection method. Clear? So in this way, in this lecture, I completed 3 important subtopics. First one was Wheatstone bridge, afterwards meter bridge experiment, and finally Kelvin method for the determination of unknown resistance of galvanometer. Thank you.